The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to plan an EngageNY math lesson using the blended learning model. As a reminder, the blended learning model is where half the class spends time on an individualized learning program, and the other half of the class is split into two groups. One group is with the small group teacher-led discussion. The other group is a student-led collaborative learning task. So what I've put up here is lesson 3 from module 1, topic A of EngageNY from the 3rd grade math curriculum. And as you can see, the suggested lesson structure here is a 60-minute breakdown, including fluency practice. We've allocated 15 minutes of fluency practice outside of the blended learning model. So the fluency practice would happen with the whole class, and that happens outside of the blended learning model. So I'm mostly concerned with the concept development and student debrief, and I need to figure out how best to modify this lesson to ensure it fits within the blended learning model. So the sprint part of this lesson is the fluency part. So I'm going to leave that for the fluency aspect of my lesson, not in this blended learning lesson. The group counting, which is 3 minutes, is I think an excellent way to start in your small group teacher-led instruction. So here you're asking the class to count by twos. So you go around to each student at your table in your small group, and you have them count by twos, and you may even start out. So it would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. And you can also have them count backwards, 20, 18, 16, 14, etc. And you can do the same thing with threes. Again, you're asking students to do the counting by twos and threes, forward and backward. This is an excellent way to start out any lesson, and this should take no longer than 3 minutes. Again, I'm mostly concerned with the concept development. To divide 24 into 4 equal groups. It's asking us to do this with students, but since we're modifying this for the blended learning model, I'm going to use manipulatives. So I'm going to take 24 base 10 blocks or 24 counters, any manipulatives that you can get 24 objects from. So I'm not going to draw all 24 here, but you get the point. Again, I'm going to create 4 groups on my whiteboard. I'm going to draw 4 circles, and the students are going to place the counters or the manipulatives into each group. At first, working as a team, they may not get an equal amount in each group, and that leads you to ask important questions like, are the groups equal? If they're not equal, can we move some of the counters from one group to another? But eventually you want to land at the point where each group has 6 manipulatives. Then the lesson is asking us to draw a 4 by 6 array. You can have students draw this using their dry erase board. You can have students show you how to make an array using the manipulative pieces, or you can do both. And the best recommendation is to do both. So you draw the 4 by 6 array. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you also have them use the manipulatives, and you set them up in an array with 4 groups, 4 rows, and 6 columns. Next, the lesson is asking us to create a number bond. So a number bond, you place the number here in a circle, and we're doing 4 equal groups of 6 here to demonstrate another way to think of the number 24. So we can think of the number 24 as 4 sixes. And finally, we want to write the equation 4 times 6 equals 24 for students, so that they begin to relate your manipulatives, your pictures such as the number bond and the array, and the equation. All of that should take roughly 10 minutes, and then you can have them do the other activities in the lessons, such as 2 groups of 8, 3 rows of 5, number bond showing 3 groups of 3, and the equation 5 times 4 equals 20. Now, what will students in the collaborative-led learning station do during this time? Well, they'll be engaged in problem sets from the previous day's lesson. They'll continue practicing concepts from your previous lesson. Hopefully you've given them some feedback on how they did yesterday. They can take that feedback to improve on what they did yesterday, or they can complete any incomplete tasks. But the goal would be to use tasks from the previous tasks and concepts and skills from the previous day's EngageNY lesson. I hope you've enjoyed this video.